What's up?
Hey!
Heyo! Hi.
So last night, we did something a little crazy.
We were a little crazy.
It was a little wild, okay? It was wild. We decided that we were going to go to the movie theater to see Hurry Up Tomorrow, the new movie by The Weeknd.
And we celebrated by renting out the whole theater.
We did, because there was no one else there.
Yeah, you actually have video proof of that, right?
I do. So what you're probably watching right now is film of an empty theater, and that is what we experienced during the entire duration of the movie.
On the opening weekend Saturday.
Yeah, so this was
And
Saturday.
it's population center.
Early evening in the Portland metro area. We're not in the middle of nowhere for
Yeah.
sure. Also, this theater we went to is in a mall. And the mall
was packed.
Packed. We couldn't even find a parking space.
Well, near the door.
We had to walk a quarter of a mile to get from our parking space to the theater because of how busy this mall was. The fact that this movie theater was empty was
something.
Honestly, an accomplishment of sorts.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know if it's possible for us to give spoilers because of how weird this movie was.
There wasn't really much of a plot.
Yeah, there is no plot. So if you... If you want a plot for this movie, maybe not none.
The plot was The Weeknd makes songs that are a lot more emotionally meaningful than most people realize. There's literally like a Jenna Ortega monologue about it, which is interesting, while she dances to Weeknd songs.
Yeah.
So...
Which is not a spoiler. Doesn't spoil anything about the movie, frankly.
Yeah. She's sitting there telling The Weeknd how emotional the Weeknd songs are.
How deep they are.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is a lot like, if you ever saw, you remember a few years back when Jennifer Lopez did her movie?
Yeah. It's some like mythological story where she like chases a magical hummingbird. Like Pan's Labyrinth meets a J-Lo music video. It's a movie no one asked for.
This is a lot like that. Super self-indulgent. This movie was The Weeknd literally playing The Weeknd. Like, his name in real life is Abel, and his name in the movie is Abel. He is a music star in real life, and in the movie, he is a music star. Is music star the right... What do we call people? Musician?
Musician.
It's hard to tell what about this is real and what about this is not real.
Well, he's real. And I think it's a fictitious representation of, like, the toxicity of being a performer.
But some of the ways in which he's toxic, because there's so much overlap between himself and the character, I can't tell where...
Oh, yeah, like, how much of this is, like stuff he's gone through, or he's the type of life that he actually lives, or is it a dramatization?
Right.
Because a lot of it is about how messed up he is.
Yes.
How he's doing drugs and alcohol, how he doesn't have good relationships with anybody. Like, every single day is a blur of just, like, perform. And he's, like, a royal asshole, which I think is... Which I thought, I was saying to you while we were watching, I was like, I actually appreciate that he's kind of a villain. He's sort of a victim in his movie, in the movie too, but he's also sort of a villain, sort of unapologetically an asshole.
It's beautiful. Like, the movie visually is at many times, like, very beautiful.
I thought auditorially kind of offensive a lot. There's a lot of the horror is through your ears, and there were times where I was like, oh.
It was
like,
very
I wanted
loud.
to block out one of my ears. It was like jarring noises and stuff.
It's also tough if you don't like the songs by The Weeknd. You're not going to like this movie because the entire movie is songs that are of The Weeknd.
A lot of this movie was him just playing his greatest hits.
Yeah.
And then them talking about them being great hits. Like, which was just weird. He did make one song for it, which he belts out at a very pivotal moment in the film.
There are multiple points where this movie is supposed to be, like, deep, I think, and instead it's funny. It starts off with The Weeknd basically looking in a mirror and going...
I guess in hindsight, that's him, like, getting ready to sing, and you're, like, loosening the lips, and you're, like...
But it goes on for...
throat exercises.
It's for too long.
That's how he starts the movie.
And it's, like, very...
It's, like, farcical.
The camera is so close that it feels very intimate. And then the ending is similar, where you're supposed to be feeling really big emotions, but the problem is that what is happening on screen is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That you can't help but feel like you want to laugh, but then because it feels so meaningful to him and the character, you feel really bad, so it just ends up very cringy for me, and I was literally covering my face at the end because I was, like, embarrassed. It's weird because there are points in this movie
points where it was interesting,
where it's pretty good, and it's interesting, and I mean the acting is actually pretty good. Jenna Ortega is great. like, she does a good job with what she's given. Barry Kogan, is that how you say his last name?
Kogan,
whatever.
I'm sorry.
He is a great actor. He does a good job. Actually, The Weeknd's acting, I've heard people say it's really bad. I don't know if I really think it's that bad.
It's not the worst acting I've seen on screen by a long shot.
I think the choices on some of the way the story moves and the plot is the problem for me.
Trying to give him the biggest benefit of the doubt, I believe that the movie he made was a very meaningful horror film for himself.
Yeah.
But it as a viewer, it was not enjoyable to watch. So it felt like in a way I can totally see like him being proud of this and for good reason. Mm-hmm. He spent a lot of money. And,
he did.
Making this.
It looked expensive.
Really, really big film about himself and his horror. And like a horror reality of being a alternate reality potentially of like being a celebrity and how much that sucks and stuff. But then like it was just hard. It was hard to watch. There's offensive noises. The visuals are jarring at times. Like they do a good job of making you feel out of control, like spinning the camera around. And like there are parts of it that just kind of make you queasy from just like the audio visual elements.
I think in general, I felt like the kind of 360 camera work was overused.
Yeah.
It was to the point where I did feel a little bit ill, and I don't have problems with motion sickness, but if I did, I don't know if I would have had to close my eyes probably. They used it a lot, and it was too much. It
a lot
was
of auras on the screen, a lot of visual like tearing and stuff that's like tough to see through.
A lot of really close-up images of eyeballs.
I think that he was trying to create like a surrealist horror. In some ways achieved it, in some ways didn't.
I felt like it was heavily inspired by like Jacob's Ladder and Misery. Listen, it's weird because I don't think I would take back having watched this. Like, I'm not sad that I went to the theater and saw it.
I didn't want my money back. Like, no, I'm fine with that.
I'm okay, but I also don't know if I could recommend this to anyone.
I wouldn't recommend it unless you want to like to be like if you want to be part of a weird experience that only it's like you, us, The Weeknd, and the people that edited the film experience, because I don't know if very many people beyond that will have seen this film. If you want to be part of a niche community,
go watch
and experience something. And what I said to you too is I'd rather watch this than like the seventh iteration of the Fantastic Four in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I don't want to see another redo of a movie that I've seen redone 3 times already.
This was original.
It was an original script, and I was more entertained by it than a lot. I don't watch half those movies because I'm like sick of it.
Right.
So I would say kudos for that.
And if you like The Weeknd, I actually feel like you would probably like this. Undeniably catchy music, and he uses a lot of it in the movie, which is kind of cool, and it's neat to see the visuals that he put towards it. I do also want to mention that there are a lot of points of this movie where it feels like he is sharing some, if it is close to his life, very personal experiences that both you and I at one point were like, I feel like this is for therapy.
This is the meme where men will do anything but go to therapy. Yeah. It's literally, he will spend millions of dollars making this movie instead of going to therapy. It felt like a therapy session that we shouldn't have been at, honestly.
Yeah, it did.
Like, are you okay? There were a lot of times where I felt almost like putting an arm on The Weeknd's shoulder being like, Abel,
are you all right?
Is this a cry for help?
Right.
It's kind of what it felt like.
It did. And then in combination with, because part of the movie is like the songs and then people describing the meaning behind the songs. And when you listen to the lyrics and then you put it in context with the movie, it really does feel like a cry for help in a weird way.
Yeah.
I can't tell if it's like this is a phase of his life that he's past now.
Yeah. And he's like cathartically like he's sharing it, and that's part of the healing perhaps.
Or if this is still where he's at. And
if he's still going down there, Jacob's Ladder, Lord. Is this part of like, if that's his day-to-day experience, I'm worried about him, and I feel bad for him, honestly. If it's a total, like, he's super happy, his life's great, he's on top of it, and he's just doing this weird dark thing,
right?
Kudos, respect, you achieved that.
It just is tough not knowing whether this is meant to be his experience, like a surrealist autobiography, or if this is like an alternate universe type scenario. Like, you really, I could not tell. I don't even know how to rate this movie. I don't even know if there's a point in it. It was very strange. If you're into kind of strange horror movies and you also don't hate The Weeknd, maybe watch it.
I give it 1 corn pillow.
1 corn.
1 corn pillow.
Out of how many corn pillows?
That's up to you.
We have
decide.
2, so 1 out of 2 corn pillows.
I was entertained, as uncomfortable as it was.
Yeah.
And it gave me something to talk about with my partner.
So if you're looking for a weird date night, go ahead and see Hurry Up tomorrow. And tell us what you think.
Yeah. Or if you did see it, tell us what you thought.
Are we being too harsh on this movie? It felt like a dumpster fire to me. It did. Yeah. But like a beautiful dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Like a dumpster fire filled with, you know that...
I do like fire.
That stuff you put in fire that makes it turn colors.
All sorts of things. It's usually just like powders.
Right.
Like different chemicals and
stuff.
Yeah,
it felt like that. Like if you had a dumpster filled with that and it was on
just like
fire.
Rainbows. Yeah. Right. Auras.
So
loud noises.
If that's what you're into.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us for a couple of minutes. We will be back to our normally scheduled programming for the next video.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
And then I got it knocked, and I started going,
ridiculous. Oh, that was a tearjerker.
Hey, we're going to go on a cruise this summer. You should come with us.